Hey folks, Tate here with Do All Outdoors. Today we're going to be assembling the Flyway 60. So I got everything laid out on the table here. The first thing we're going to do is take the trap, flip it upside down, do some assembly there, and then we'll do the other portion. I'll flip it right side up, and we will finish the assembly. So we'll begin upside down here. First step is taking our safety ring studs. They install at the rear of the trap here, going from the outside in. And those just thread in by hand, so get those nice and snug. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to take our two safety ring arms along with the four 4mm Allen head screws, and these go towards the front of the trap here. There's two holes on either side, and we're going to begin by threading those in by hand, and then I'll finish them up with the Allen wrench. Alright, we'll repeat for the other side here. Right, and again, this is a 4mm Allen wrench we're going to use to tighten these up. Alright. Next step we're going to go with is we're going to take our trap base and we're going to be installing it to the trap head. You'll notice that towards the middle of the trap there's two holes on either side, and what we're going to do is make sure that the range that slides is facing towards the back of the trap. Now this part can get a little tricky because we've got these four 17mm head bolts and plastic washers. So what we need to do is get the washer in between the trap head and the trap base. So sometimes this can be easier with two people, but we will get it done today. And we'll do it on each side. We're going to take that bolt, push it through the trap base, and then through that plastic washer. And again, for these I will also begin by hand, and then I'll finish them up with my ratchet. We'll go to the other side, screw through the base, then through the plastic washer and into the trap head. All right, and just tighten those up here. Okay, now that we got that trap head on the base, we're going to go ahead and take the legs along with our 8 longer bolts that we have here with 16 washers and 8 nuts. I just had them already attached to each other for convenience. But what we'll do is you'll take one washer, put it on the head of the bolt, slide it through the trap base, then through the leg, attach another washer on the other end of the bolt, and then affix the nut to the end. And I will repeat this for all 4 legs, and after that I will then tighten these down. And while I tighten them, I'll be using a 14mm socket for the head and a 13mm for the nut. I'll just go through and attach each of the legs first. All right, legs are on. Final step on this end is we're going to put the mainspring and spade bolt onto the machine. To do that, rotate the arm out to the 12 o'clock so it's pointing straight outward. Remove the outer nut from that spade bolt, take the other end of the mainspring, hook it up to this eyelet here underneath the trap, then slide that spade bolt through the rear of the trap, and we're going to put that nut back on, and we will just tighten it here. So just tighten until you feel some tension on that spring, and that can be adjusted at a later point. We're going to leave it pretty loose today just for instructional purposes. And from this, we will tip the trap right side up and continue the installation. All right, now we got the trap in the upright position. We're going to finish the installation here. So when you get this trap, you're going to have 4 rubber caps on top of these studs. Just remove those, and then you'll have 2 different styles of stacker poles here. You're going to take the style that have one open end and just slide each of those onto those studs. From there, you will take one of the 2 horseshoes. Make sure the opening is always facing the rear of the trap or the power switch, and thread in the second set of stacker poles, and this is going to be the male thread side going down into the female thread on the top of the other stacker poles. And these will just tighten by hand. Alright, and then from there we'll take the other horseshoe along with these little bolts that have an 11mm head on them, and we'll begin by tightening them by hand, and then we'll just secure them with a socket at the end. We don't need to have them super tight on there, just snug enough so that they won't come loose. Right, and again, I got an 11mm socket here. Get them snug on there. And once again, make sure these horseshoes are always open facing the rear of the trap. Otherwise, you're going to have some feeding issues after you load the clays in there. Alright, now we're going to take our safety ring. We're going to thread that in. So the easiest way to do it is to come to the front of the thrower here, and we're going to slide that ring through one side, one of those safety ring arms. Take the other end, slide it through this side. And then we just take the ends and push them in to these safety ring studs at the rear of the trap here. Alright, at that point this thing is fully assembled. Now you can take either the foot pedal, plug it into the rear of the trap here, or the included wireless remote, and we will cover that on the operational video. At this point, you're ready to shoot. Whenever you power this thing up, make sure the switch is in the off position, and anytime you're going to work on the trap or move the trap, we always recommend to remove the mainspring. So you'll remove the mainspring and the spade bolt. That takes away any danger from the thrower, but at this point, you are ready to shoot.